had a chance to be pretty good. But having some of these wins against Boise State and Alabama, seeing it kind of play out in the court, I mean, how much confidence do you feel like you guys are building during the non-conference?
Yeah, a lot. I think we've had this kind of confidence for a while now. It kind of comes from our preparation and work and the stuff that our coaches set us up with game plans and stuff. So, I mean, going into that, especially the Alabama game, we're really confident just going into that. But in general, our confidence is high. It's been like that for a while. So we're very comfortable and confident as we go into the more non-conference.
Yeah, I mean, I think the same thing. I think one thing I've learned out throughout my whole career, even before college, is like you got to be confident and not cocky. Like there's a difference between the two. And when you have a team full of confident guys, that like PJ said comes from preparation and all that kind of stuff. Usually your success comes on the court. And but there's a big difference between the two. You can get in trouble when you start getting cocky, and I think that's what Coach is kind of trying to prepare us with right now is not to get complacent with where we're at. But at the same time, stay confident and know that we're a pretty good team going into each and every game. But at any moment you can lose. So you got to stay level-headed, but make sure you stay confident at the same time.
I guess just for you, obviously being new here, are you at the point yet where you feel like it's almost like playing in Syracuse, like you're a part of this team, or does it still feel like you're trying to find people?
No, I mean, I'm comfortable. I mean, these guys have done a good job, I think, even since I got here in June. Obviously it takes a little time to first few games to, figure it out a little bit, just your role and, the playing style, because it is a lot different. But, I mean, I've been comfortable the whole time. The guys have done a good job of just, helping me buy in, helping me fit in, and, just being a part of the Clemson culture. And, like I said, it feels like I've been here for 4 years, just the way that they've, brought me in, and it's all worked out so far.
And Joe, the other night, obviously, you and Chase in a hostile environment come in, just show off the shot making. What was that like? And obviously, those talks on the sideline before you come in for those big moments.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just a lot of preparation. I mean, we put in the time and effort, whether it's workouts, practice, and even in the off season. So a lot of the times, just trusting your practice, trusting your preparation, and I think, again, it just goes to being confident. We've both been here for 5 years now, and played in some big games and big environments before that. Older guys usually tend to be a little bit more successful than sometimes younger guys in those situations. But I think it also goes to the rest of the team and the coaches. I mean, everybody had to deal with a hostile environment. Everybody, came in and had big plays and big moments that, kind of really took us over the top. But, I mean, it's just, again, it goes back to preparation, goes back to being confident. I think those two things could take you pretty far, and especially in the game of basketball.
Joe, in the Boise State game, you got on a hot run. It seemed like you kind of loosened up and you started pumping the crowd up. Can you point to that as the moment you started feeling comfortable being with the team and really felt in rhythm?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a guy who kind of loves bringing energy, and just with someone who's my size, I have to kind of figure out different ways to be on the court to be successful, and to help a team, and sometimes that's just being energy and being another fiery guy, competitive, and I think my whole career, again, even before college, I think one thing I've always tried to live off of is just being a competitor. And, in big games, I love being able to show energy and help my teammates get into it. And, sometimes it's not even just me making a shot or me making a play. It's when someone else makes an and one or someone else makes a play, just getting fired up for them and getting fired up for your team. And I think just having that fire inside of me and inside of us, helps us in those big games.
PJ, are you feeling a little less pressure now, maybe seeing the depth on this team and seeing that, guys come off, rotate off the bench, everybody is contributing?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I ever felt any pressure to have to go out there and pick up any slack because I knew we had players. But to see it kind of come to fruition as this season started off, it's been really fun to see guys throughout our whole bench. We played, 10 guys last game against Alabama, and I think all of them were in double-figure minutes. And so it's really special to see this many guys coming in and contributing and being big contributors in different ways.
How do you talk to the team about let's don't overlook Pitt because that other game coming up Wednesday? How do you keep everybody level in one game at a time?
I think we do a good job of doing that just in general. I mean, for me, I went into my first class after Alabama the next day, and someone was asking me about when we play South Carolina, and I didn't know. I just knew we played Pitt Sunday. So I just kind of take it one game at a time, not worry about what's happening in the future, just worry about that next game on the schedule. That's kind of where we're at right now, and started preparation yesterday and scouting and stuff, so we're definitely just focused on Pitt right now.
Gosh, how nice is that, having classmates aware, talking about it. I mean, for as great as it is that, Clemson and Clemson football and the notoriety that it brings to the university in the area, a lot of times you guys battle. Brad's talked to us. You guys battle really getting the attention until football season is over. So how much fun has that been? Because you guys are making a lot of noise.
Yeah, no, it's definitely special. I mean, Joe just got here, so he hasn't been here for 4 years battling and, like having to see football have all the success. And we think, I mean, Clemson's better when football is having a great year. I mean, I love Clemson football, but also, I mean, like, we have some great players on basketball, so it's going to be a special year for us. But, I think that in general, because of how big football is, it seems like people don't necessarily know much about basketball or what we're doing, but I think in general people do. Football is such a big deal here. So the fans do a great job keeping up with us, and obviously this year we started off very strong, so they're really paying attention now, and it's definitely cool. Going in that classroom, and he was like, "Hey man, like Stock Carolina this coming Wednesday," and I was like, "Oh really?" I kind of forgot, or didn't really know because I just kind of knew we were playing Sunday.
You are back this year, and that brought so much excitement for so many people, especially obviously being a Spartanburg guy, but you're somebody that fans rally around. That brings a lot of conversation about your injury and coming back and battling that injury. Are you tired of answering questions about it? Are you ready for the conversation, as I ask you about it, are you ready for the conversation to go past it? Do you feel like it's behind you?
I mean, it's definitely behind me in the sense of physical well-being. But I mean, the thing is, I don't mind people asking me. It's a great part of my story, my testimony. It's a great wrinkle in the book, and just kind of adds to stuff you have to go through. You can't get to these kind of victories and stuff without having to go through these trials. And so I don't mean victories in basketball, but like moral victories. Feeling like you've accomplished something. And so going through that type of stuff for a year and a half, or whatever it was, from December sophomore year to all throughout last year, like going through all that, and then now being where I'm at now, it's very cool to look back at. So I don't mind it at all. It's a great testimony and great thing that God helped walk me through. Yeah.
I think right now there's such this narrative. I mean, we're all seeing the Aaron Rodgers clips that he's back practicing after, and certainly obviously different injuries,
Yeah.
but there's this narrative that like people are making these miraculous recoveries, but coming back from an injury is really hard. And I think that, like a story like yours of coming back and playing and the adversity that's still there even as you're battling is also really important to talk about. Do you recognize that at all right now? Do you see that and that importance in sharing that?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's incredible to watch guys like Aaron Rodgers go out there and, battle to get back to what he wants to do and stuff. But that's really just a testament to competitive will and spirit. I think that, as soon as I got hurt, I forgot about this overseas guy. I was here a few weeks ago, and he told me he came in here the next day after my knee injury, and I was in the weight room, already started my rehab and stuff. It's just a wanting, a want to get out there and play, and want to get out there and compete. Not just, for games, but practices, pickup, games, all that stuff. It all goes into one, and wanting to go out there and compete every single day is really what gets you back out there to play.
I think you played 34-plus minutes against Alcorn State.
Yeah.
What did that feel like after the game, I guess during the game, and after?
Started cramping at the end. I'll tell you what, I was getting a cramp at my calf, and I had 3 minutes left, and Brownell, I went up to him, I was like, "Hey, I got to get one." He was like, "Well, you're coming out, you're good." 35 minutes, played 21 minutes against Alabama, played 35, 36 minutes against, I think, UAB. Whatever it takes, man. I don't really care if I'm playing 30, 25, 20, 40. If we win, W in the scorebook, that's really all that matters to me. So I'm happy either way.
I think Coach Brownell's talking about the depth of his team and said it's similar to your freshman year.
Yeah.
Would you say it's similar? Do you feel like?
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of similarities. We have a lot of size. I think that's one thing that's similar. I mean, we have great depth, obviously. We have young guys who can play, and then we also get along, too. I mean, that's something that's been kind of a consistency my time at Clemson, and my freshman year is a team that we all enjoy playing with each other. And this year has been very fun playing with each other and going through these battles each and every day with each other.
AJ, if you're comfortable with it, I'd love to ask you about the mental side of coming back and even the side of playing with, going pro last year and leaving and making that decision to come back, just how your mental space and how you've navigated that, and maybe anybody you've leaned on or how you've been able to do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, the biggest thing I leaned on was my faith and knowing that this happened for a reason. But I was always, in talk and communication with my mom, my dad, family, and stuff, because throughout the whole time, it was just wanting to be back and perform at a high level, and also performing like I know that I can. And so it was definitely frustrating, but at the same time, it's just another, like I said, another wrinkle in the book. But mentally, it was not fun at all. Whenever you're coming back and you're playing and you're going through a lot of other stuff as well, it's just a whole. Feels like you're fighting two battles at once. Like you're trying to play basketball, but then also you're fighting. It feels a little selfish at sometimes. Like, oh, I want this for me. Get back healthy. Become what you want to do. And then at some point, it's like, all right, like you kind of have to realize like this is how it is right now, and you just gotta do with what you can.
I always venture on the side that you never know who's going to hear your story. So is it that you asked for help in those hard times when you were battling these two things? Were you asking for help? Did you have people who saw it and were there for you and told you, hey, don't forget, we're here to help you through this? How did that sort of stuff work out?
Well, sadly, I didn't really ask for help enough. A lot of times, I've always kind of been kind of doing it your own kind of guy. But, probably once or twice it got to be a little too much, and I would go home and just, talk to my mom and not necessarily ask for help, but, whenever moms know, and so just, talk to her, and it just hearing a few little words from her, that was the help I needed. Then talking to coach and stuff, I always knew he had my back. And then, our trainer, Brad Crow, he does a great job. And so having help from those people was really all I needed to get back to where I was physically. And then obviously mentally, it's just, every night praying about, is this really what I'm meant to be doing? Am I going to get back to where I need to be? It was just a whole confusing time. And, throughout the whole time, just continued to pray and kept trusting those people.
You had mentioned you knew it happened for a reason. What is that reason now, and has that reason changed? Have you found different reasons over the course of the last year and a half?
I may never know the true reason it happened, but, I mean, for one thing, let's say that I didn't have an injury and had this year that I had last year, or had this year last year, and I get drafted and I'm not here anymore, then, I might miss something special this year. So, I love where I'm at right now, and I think that I've been placed here for a reason. And so, for right now, it's a good enough reason for me. Yeah, I'm not going to question what he's doing.
Anybody have anything else? I wanted to ask about Ian Schieffelin. He was a good rebounder last year. He's kind of taken another jump this year. Do you see any differences in him, or why he's been so effective there?
I mean, just a confidence. Him and RJ have definitely gotten more confident in what they're doing. But Ian is, he found this little niche that he has, and it's going and rebounding. He typically has a little bit of a smaller guy on him, or somebody his size, and he's so strong that he can overpower someone like that. So he's done a great job filling that role of taking on more rebounding, and he's kind of filled that Hunter Tyson role of taking on more rebounds. I've had my numbers up as well, but not like Ian. It's ridiculous. He's been great for us. Yeah.
And there's RJ Godfrey, the way he finishes in the post, it feels like he's just more comfortable, more aggressive down there. So
Yeah.
Have you noticed? Is it kind of similar from your freshman to sophomore
Yeah.
year? Do you feel like?
Yeah, I think so. That's a good comparison. I mean, he's had a huge jump in confidence and development too. He had a great summer, big summer for him to, just kind of feel it out a little bit. The game slowed down for him, and he's going out there, and I mean, a confident RJ Godfrey is scary. I mean, he is so strong, so fast, so just he's a man, just a grown man out there. So that's a great, huge addition for us.